Hi, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns, and you're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is the Intercontinental Group of Awesome, so named because we span a gigantic ocean and 2 different continents. And when the time zones all line up on Sundays, we get together and play small press and indie tabletop role-playing games together. We are at the end of volume 1, if you're thinking in comic book terms, volume 1 of our Power Beyond Doubt series that has been taking place in a custom setting we all made up together called Atlantica City. Imagine our Earth, but 70 years ago, maybe less, somewhere around there, after all of the Voyager and space travel that we had attempted, the aliens came to visit us because they thought we were ready. And I don't think there was like a Federation thing. So they just like showed up. So think a little Men in Black, a little super MCU-ish. The city known as Miami is now Atlantica City, because when the aliens showed up and said, "Hi, Earthlings," the Atlanteans, who had been around evidently all along, rose from the sea and said, "Hey, by the way, Earth isn't just these guys who've been polluting us and destroying our environment. There's us too." And then a triumvirate was created. There's a Kennedy Terrestrialization Center. Oh, got it one. Let's just stop now. It can only go downhill from here. So there is that center where aliens can come and naturalize themselves on Earth. And there's a little Mars neighborhood, like an island here in former Atlantica City. And then there's also a bunch of Atlanteans who have come here. Most of them, or at least the ones most popular, are related to the deposed ruler of Atlantis, Makeda. She came here after the Atlantean, who's the closest analog we have to a Captain America type. Z defeated the despotic ruler, Makeda, and as far as us Earthlings know, the Atlantean rules Atlantis. TBD. We may learn more about that during next month's game of Pandora Total Destruction. But for now, Atlantean is just this popular but heretofore not seen on screen in our game so far character. And let's see. In last session, we had some interesting conflicts. There was a threat at the local high school that Blue Orchid attends, as well as Tony Shaw. That threat was defeated by Oscuro and Professor Maxwell, because this young lady had the unfortunate magical guitar that summoned demons. That's a problem. So Super, the Super's following, mocking, and attempts to unveiling a podcast. One of their major producers, Willard Ramsey, was threatened to back off suckers. And you guys were successful in convincing him to stop his annoying ways. That's right, Oscuro currently has the demonic guitar. Were there any other highlights from last session that folks want to make sure that we mention before we go into character intros and jump into the now?
I mean, Blossom met a very handsome young man. I mean, not that it was, and he wasn't even called Mr. Handsome.
Blossom met Neutron Fist at Dr. Handsome's office, and the two seemed to get on a bit, although Neutron Fist seemed like maybe on the sad factor somewhere near to Blossom, since his neutron-powered hands prevent him from being able to touch anything. So that's bad. But, Blossom, plant lady, so there's that. They saw eye to eye for a little bit. Cool. Let's go around the horn with a brief introduction of our players and their characters. We'll start from the right-hand side of the character keeper, sitting amongst the beautiful stenciled trees. It's Jen, the game's creator. If you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hello, I'm Jen. I use the she, her pronouns. I wrote Power Beyond Doubt, and I'm happy to see the game in use. I am playing as Theo, aka Sinnoch, who also uses she, her pronouns. She's an untamed with cool fox-themed powers.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Tyler, you're up, my friend.
Hi there, I'm Tyler, he, him pronouns, and I am playing Professor Maxwell Mannheim / Herd. Maxwell is a mild-mannered college professor. Herd is a super powerful mythological being. Together, they have fun adventures.
Hashtag fun adventures. Thank you. Alex, you're up, my friend.
I'm Alex, I use he, him, and I'm playing Blossom, who uses she, her. She is a big, sad plant lady who didn't used to be a plant lady, which is why she's sad.
It's true. All of it's true. And last but certainly not least is Sabine.
Hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns, and I am playing Miguel or Oscuro, which is the hero name, cape name, I think is the word. Miguel is an adventurer, and he is looking for a mastermind because that mastermind took over the audience of a rock concert and used them to infiltrate a museum, hybrid security museum, caused a lot of heartbreak and death. And also Miguel was the lead guitar at this concert, so he has a little bit of a personal stake in there. He's not competing on the sadness factor though.
He should. I think he'd place. He'd end up on the podium somewhere.
He doesn't feel like he doesn't care about being sad. He just cares about the mission.
That's right. Push all
being,
feelings out.
Being sad is not, he's not that sad.
I'm sad for him, okay? All right. Cool. I'd like to open up with a scene involving Herne training Toni and training with Blue Orchid. But I'd love to have another player character there. This, of course, would be in the evening, but not too late because Toni's still technically grounded and, you know, our Blue Orchid does have a curfew himself. Not that he talks about it, but he does. So who else would like to be involved in this training scene?
I can be there, but just only as a human, that they would learn how to fight a human without breaking every bone. That might teach them how to control their powers a little better.
I'll teach you to control your powers. Don't break me.
I mean, I can usually get out of the way. I'm a pretty decent martial artist.
You are Magic Batman. So
I am not Magic Batman. I am Miguel, the former lead guitar player of a former band. So I'm not Oscuro here. So they need to be a bit careful here.
Oh, that's right. So
I don't have
just
magic. I have is just the flame thingies.
That's right. Just to double check, Mateo does know.
Yeah, Mateo knows, but Toni doesn't.
Toni doesn't. And Mateo's going to keep it quiet.
That would be nice.
For the sake of
would
Toni.
Appreciate that, yes, because Toni does not know, and I don't know how many people she's not part of the team, right? She's just I mean, if Maxwell says she needs to be in on the secret, then okay, then I trust his judgment.
I mean, she doesn't need to be in on the secret, but if you're both in your non-cape identities and Herd's here, she's certainly going to take certain knowledges that here are these two folks training with her, and I wonder if they're supers.
I think Mateo wants to show up here looking like Mateo is Blue Orchid. Mateo doesn't. It's the flip side. Mateo doesn't want Toni to know that Blue Orchid is Mateo.
Okay. So in that case,
to hide his secret identity.
Maybe take someone who is not doesn't have the secret identity problems here. Might be better.
That's fair. That's fair. That's why I wanted to
Yeah,
talk it out.
Blossom will step in then if
Excellent.
the one who doesn't have a.
Nice. Oh, this is good. Sweet. So, Tyler, describe to me the high flying training that you, as we open up, like we see several panels of Herne and Toni, evening, like full, but 3/4, like a gibbous moon over the ocean as you guys are training. And then, Alex, I want you to tell us, like, what is the location, the out of the way location that you guys have chosen to train in? Like it's got to be outdoors, I would imagine. But is it at the junkyard where we've had some scenes with Toni before, or is it a park of some kind near the beach? What is some out of the way place where we're trained? So you think about that for a second, Alex. But Tyler, if you could, what is the training, the flying related training that Herne is going through with Toni as we open up?
Okay. I think that we're seeing us moving through kind of different obstacles, trying to work on that kind of precision moving between things. And if it's all right with the two of you, kind of working with non-flyers on how we can provide air support, or how we can like pick up a non-flyer to get them to a spot, and do that in a way that, say, doesn't break their neck.
That is a moment in The Boys when
you
someone
grab
with
the
super
handles.
speed grabs somebody by the back of their head before they like ran away with them, that I thought was really clever. Like they put their hand behind their head before they
Right, to
zipped
brace them so
away.
they don't get whiplash.
I was
Yeah.
like, that was a neat little touch in The Boys. They often has neat little touches that are often gross, but that one was smart. Cool. So Alex, where do you imagine Blossom, Herne, Toni, and Blue Orchid are training?
I imagine this like little just off the edge of the city, like watering hole, like a little wooden jetty, like out into a medium-sized or it's very small lake / big-ish pond. The rowboat, the moon is reflected in the water.
Oh, that's really cool.
And we've got that little jetty to be sitting on.
And to tie it back to our cool little map, are you imagining somewhere west of Atlantica, like downtown in our brown undefined area, or did you have another particular part of it?
Let's actually go north of the Johnny Cash Stadium, so you can see the lights of the stadium kind of.
Oh, that's cool.
It's like, it's over trees.
Well, that's good. So then, Sabine, I'm going to ask you a question. What event is going on at Johnny Cash Stadium that they can just hear little echoes of that event taking place? Is this some kind of sporting event? Is it a concert of some kind?
I think it's a sporting event, because they may have taken a step back from concerts right now because it doesn't seem to go well. So this is a sporting event. They will hear sometimes people shouting because somebody hit a thing that is relevant in a sport that they are playing there. Okay.
That's no, neither here nor there. Just music that might be heard in the background. That I think Tyler gets me, so that's fine. I just need one person to get me sometimes. Tyler was that good. And two people got me. I'm mostly going by one of my 2 or 3 things I'm interested in besides RPGs. So yeah.
Was it Star Wars? They're playing Star Wars.
Yes, they're playing Star Wars.
Well, that's why I was so familiar.
Cool. So you, Herne, are showing Toni the ropes on rescuing people. Maybe there's a point where Toni goes down and scoops up Blue Orchid. There's a bit where she's flying him over the water. because she's still worried about dropping people. And maybe there's a point where he like adjusts a little bit and she nearly drops him. But he says, don't worry, I can open a portal and fall into it. It's okay. How does Herne feel or react to the two of them working together? What is his approach?
I mean, I think he's probably pleased with that. I think he likes Blue Orchid and he likes her, and it's important to be able to work as a team. Herne does believe that. He has an instinctive pack mentality, I don't think Herne thinks about romance at all, despite whatever Blue Orchid may be dropping down on that. It's just not something in Herne's mind. So he's very pleased to see that Blue Orchid's all about her flying him around and stuff like that. He's very enthusiastic. That is good.
He's positive all the time. That's not at all a negative trait. Awesome. Then I think what we see after that carrying routine, Toni drops down with Blue Orchid and lets Blue drop down into the boat. Blossom, you're big plant girl. Is this a rinky-dink canoe? And like, how are you fitting in it? What do we see?
Oh, I mean, could she literally just be standing beside the canoe?
Oh, in the water?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, I imagine she floats pretty well.
Okay.
Or is she just tall enough at the level of deepness of this pond that she's just, it's just waste.
It's great. He drops down into the canoe that's right beside you. You're able to, we don't know if you've extended vines underneath to support you, if you're just floating. Who knows? You're weird.
Who knows? But I kind of like, as they land, I kind of just grab the edge of the boat and just, so it doesn't wobble too much when they're landing. Kind of settle it slightly.
And she flies up, and Toni's a pretty adroit flyer when she's just flying by herself. It's interacting with other things while flying and also with her super strength where she seems just a little worried. And there's a moment, Blossom, when Blue Orchid's there, and he glances over and he glances up and he says, she's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I kind of smile slightly knowingly. Like, yeah, she's cool.
Yeah, she's like a senior, so
Oh, like, just to be clear, is she like 1 year group older, or is that 2,
Yeah.
3? Yeah.
I think he's, I haven't defined it in my head if he's sophomore or junior, but like he's one or the other.
Yeah, so imagine just 1 year younger.
Yeah, we'll go with that. That sounds good.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's not the biggest age difference. I mean,
wait, what do you mean?
nothing. Just just saying. I mean, the age difference between me and Maxwell is crazy. Just talk about ages.
Are you into the professor?
What? He's old. No, I mean, he's got a bit of that silver fox thing going, but no.
Are you sure?
No.
It's okay.
There's a pretty girl up in the sky.
Yeah.
Focus.
And that distraction, when you tell him to focus, the two of you both look up, probably different expressions on your face. Maxwell, you're 80 feet up in the air and not Herne.
What?
So when you start to fall towards the lake, what do you do?
Ah! So there was a immediate transformation.
There's
right?
an immediate withdrawal of Herne. He just disappeared on you.
Did Kesweir also disappear, or is Kesweir
I
falling?
think Kesweir is
as well?
here. I think Kesweir is here, but Herne has left the building. And you being the building.
Then yes, I think there is me screaming as Kesweir is attempting to get under me, can't quite hold me up, and we're kind of falling.
Nice. And I think Blue Orchid tries to open a portal, but he doesn't time it right. So he like opens a portal and you zip past him right as he's coming through. Blossom, what do you do?
I crouch down and just jump, trying to make that catch.
Nice.
I probably like knock the boats spinning off across the water.
Oh yeah, that's just perfect. I love that. So let's have you safeguard. When you defend someone or something from an immediate threat,
Roll the power.
you will roll with a trust aligned
So just
power.
Just my power stat then. That's one. Don't worry, Blossom's here.
Famous
I got 10.
listeners. Oh my, that is heroic.
There's Blossom has a specific musical sting that goes off when she does something great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now I have to go find that cool musical sting, darn it. Because that's a great idea.
I mean, I'm imagining some like percussion, like wooden percussion.
Oh man, that sounds dope.
Kind of a little bit of like kind of African vibe, but kind of also the kind of the wooden nature.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So
there we go.
what does that look like as you save Maxwell from slamming into the lake from 80 feet up? Would have been painful. Not probably wouldn't have killed you. I mean, honestly, but definitely would have ruined your day.
Could have.
It could have. Yes, it could have. But what does that look like when you safeguard?
Maxwell's falling, and suddenly the blur of Blossom kind of impacts. I think there's a slight losing of your breath for a second, and you're gonna get a bit wet, but you don't go under the water. There's like just blur as she passes by you, and just suddenly your momentum goes sideways instead of downwards, and sploosh.
Nice.
And then you're basically being cradled like a child or like a baby in my arms.
I think that I have probably like grabbed a hold of your friend handles. Oh my.
And I'd like to insert like one panel when Toni came down, but I think she grabbed your jacket and ripped the sleeve off, trying to save you. Like she tried to snatch you, and she like snatched your jacket, and it just ripped off in her hand.
My elbow patches.
She flies down.
I kind of like just before they
really
kind of
sorry.
they kind of approach, or like they're in earshot, I kind of like whisper like, "Is this a lesson for them?"
No. Something has happened to her.
And Kesweir is like floating above the ground on that
kind
weird
of walking
rainbow
along.
thing.
Walking along towards the boat so I can deposit you back on there. Like, you can't even hear him?
And I am concentrating, trying to sense her.
Cool. So I think what I'd like to do is cut away here as you're doing that, and we'll come back with you making that attempt. Does that sound okay? So we cut to Sinnoch and Oscuro. The two of you are in the middle of a battle, street level battle, like fisticuffs. We could imagine onomatopoeias being shown on the panels as you are fighting some of the Atlantean mafia, led by not Makeda, because she doesn't like getting her hands dirty, guys, but instead led by none other than, I gotta show you a picture because this picture makes me happy, and I hope you like it okay. But the mathematical themed super henchman known only as Miscalculation. Look at that smile. All right, so there's miscalculation.
That's the oh no smile.
The
She
what?
looks a lot. She looks in over her head. Like
She says it's a clever facade. So
mhm.
she's evidently calculated exactly what needs to go down for the two of you to be defeated for whatever reason.
Mhm.
So, Jen, tell us, is this literally a street battle? Is this in some kind of building or a museum? Well, let's not go with museum because I think that has some like mastermind overtones there that I don't necessarily want to overlap with.
No, I think this is a literal street battle.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep,
And
there's at least one car alarm going off.
or does it have a shark person like laying on the car? Like they've been thrown onto the car, they mushed the car, there's a bunch of glass everywhere, and it's
yep, there's a Sharkman's shaped dent in the car. Yeah.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. So yeah, that's the first establishing shot is Sharkman has been thrown into car. And Sabine, where is Oscuro in this? Like fighting a bunch of people, swinging somewhere up on a rooftop, fighting someone? You haven't gotten to miscalculation yet.
I think he's on a car, since we are dealing with cars right now.
Yeah.
So he's standing on a car with the guitar out and is currently busy to keep the swarm people from swarming him, because that is not fun, being bitten by a shark person. He saw what that did to Sinnoch, and yeah, he wouldn't bounce back from it like that quickly. So
it's true. Being bitten by a shark person does take some time to recover from.
It do suck.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
at least they don't have rabies.
Oscuro, you're playing using sound sprites to like push them back. You created like a wall of sound kind of thing.
Yeah,
awesome.
basically.
What's the color, the signature color that we see when you're using your music, like on the panels? At least for this, it doesn't have to be forever.
On the panels, you don't see a lot of stuff. You don't see a color, but you see these waves coming, like sound waves.
Yeah, like sound waves. All right, cool. Yeah, maybe they use a little CGI to like make things look blurry if they're in the sound wave. You know, we can do that high-tech stuff in comic books nowadays.
Wow.
It's not all printed on newsprint.
Cool.
We've
Very
got a
nice.
limited budget here in our minds.
Wow.
Anyway, so you're doing all of that. You're holding back a number of shark folk. We'll say there are 3 of them. They were trying to come in, menace you. We draw out, we see a bit wider. There was some kind of festival going on here, an Atlantica City festival that was going on not far from the college itself. Yes, it's a $4.99. Yes, 100%. It's got a foil cover. You guys, it's big stuff. It's totally going to be worth it on the traders market. So it's not far from the stadium. So we hear a little bit of whatever sporting event game, sports ball game is going on there from the John and Cash Stadium. And Sinnoch, you know that miscalculation seems to be the hench in charge, but you are facing off with another hinch person, a hinch lady who is currently in our rogue gallery.
Ah,
She stands she's almost as tall as Herne.
whew.
She has a pair of horns on her head,
Mhm, mhm.
and she's wearing Western themed clothing, including a belt buckle that has her hinch person name, Cowgirl. And Oscuro,
You know, I
this
love it when
girl.
somebody goes all in on the theme.
She is all in. She says, "All right, you know what happens when a bull hits a fox, don't you?" And she's charging forward towards you. What do you
We're never
do?
going to find out. I'm dodging. I'm doing some strategic dodging.
Strategic dodging is your speciality.
No,
Cool. Are you planning
Dodge her
on
into the sound
confronting
wave.
her?
Dodge her
Yeah,
into
I'm-
the sound wave. That
I
could be-
am definitely trying to dodge her into something that is not safe for her to run into. So yeah, the sound waves.
And this is Cowgirl with
Yep.
appropriately themed buckle. I shared that in the Slack with the crew, but for anybody
I'm
who's
only-
watching, it's like, what am I talking about?
Only going to say
that's-
this once, but she's beefy.
Did
I'm
not
so
see that
sorry,
coming.
everyone. But I had to do it.
It's nice. It's good stuff. So it sounds like you're planning on confronting her. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And I think I'm gonna dig in. Not really going to escape.
okay. Well, confrontation rolls with daring and confidence. And you, Sinnoch, are flat on daring, and your confidence is a 1. Good luck.
Do this.
Scooby-Doo.
All right. That is a 9 on the dice.
Well, on a 9 in confrontation, you get to choose 1. So you've engaged in the confrontation and you choose 1. Do you want to resist or avoid their blows, take something from them, create an opening, impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition?
Well, it's not terribly exciting, but I think I'm gonna resist the blows because, or avoid, of course, because that's just sort of the in-character focus of my activity.
Cool. Are you imagining this is a like Olay, maybe vault over, or is it a slide underneath? How do you avoid Cowgirl's blows where she goes askew and perhaps is buffeted by the sound wave that Oscuro is throwing out?
I think I definitely do go over the horns because that just looks more awesome. It's probably equally difficult to slide underneath her legs, but one of them's flashier, and I took that tactic.
I think you made the right choice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I need the attention. I'm like, oh, ah.
Cool. Cowgirl continues forward, her berserker rage carrying her past you as you flip over her. She bounds into the side of the sound wave that Oscuro has created, bounces off of that, and ends up like shoulder checking one of the sharkmen, sending him a little bit flying before she's able to recover. Unfortunately, her recovery is slamming into a street lamp, bending it halfway over to where it like taps a building tap. And then she stands up and shakes her head.
I'm gonna make her one of my touchdowns. I think that's fun.
Nice. She goes, all right, Foxy lady. Fool me once.
I give her a little wolf whistle.
Nice. Cool. Oscuro, you see that up on the rooftops where Miscalculation has her bird's eye view, she is trying to this is great. She is trying to get around to get the drop on you.
Oh, okay. I think in this case, I will seem to be totally concentrated on the shark people and keep her in an eye. I basically, it's a trap. Like
Mhm.
if I see she wants to get on the back of me, that is fine. I want her to get on my back. I want her to put herself in a position where I can get at her, because that might not be to her advantage. She might expect that because she is a mathematician and has calculated everything. But let's see how this works. Maybe it doesn't work very well, but I'll
Well-
try to deceive her, trick her into getting into a position where she will be vulnerable to my stuff. Like I'm pretending that I haven't noticed what she's doing, and I'm busy with the shark people, and look at the cowgirl, and that is very she's very eye-catching. So
Excellent. That sounds amazing. It sounds like you're
Mhm.
trying to trick her.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. That is trust aligned. Your trust is a 0. I'm so proud of you.
yeah, I'm so proud of
Awesome.
myself. I
Flip stuff
think
around. Your genius is a 1.
yeah, it's almost like I can do this, but I should get the roller up before I even try, right? And also it's the first roll of the evening. Come on, whenever I ever succeeded at the first roll of the evening, and also Herne hasn't, Tyler has forgotten to start a session move.
Ah! Thank
Probably
you
use
for
the
reminding
last
us.
one.
Okay. Yep, this is my name. Those are dice.
Is that a 9? No, that's shock
Oh,
roll.
that's
I'm
Sinnoch's
waiting.
roll. I'm not. I'm rolling now. I've
Okay.
got an 11. Wow. Okay, so this is
What?
good.
You're so
Wow,
good
yeah,
at tricks.
Wow. Wow.
This calculation did not see this coming.
No, she did not.
She
I
picked
get to.
the most inappropriately named supervillainous.
I think. Yeah. I am not overburdened. I think. I might need to improvise some concrete assurance that I am really distracted, but she will buy into the trick, and she won't follow up in that she can't just hit me despite the fact that she
Cool.
isn't. But I need to I think I need to have one of the shark people basically punch me a little,
Mhm.
because that will leave a bruise, but that will sell it. That will definitely sell it. Also, I might leave myself vulnerable to the shark people, but yeah, well, if we take out their leader, my logic is that they probably will go.
It's true. It's true. It's likely miscalculation has planned ahead for an escape route for herself. So
Yeah,
yes.
but she might need that.
Nice. You lure her in by taking a shot from one of the shark people. You're up on a car, so the shark person is up like stepping onto the hood and launching forward, and it's not a blow where you're going to have to weather this blow because this was part of your ruse. But it got close, right?
Yeah, and also I fall off the car, which was also part of the ruse, but also to sell it, I have to make it look like it hurts a bit, and then how do you make it look like it hurts a bit without hurting yourself a bit?
Nice.
Right.
Nice. You check in with my European friends. Do you know what an ancient electronic kids toy known as Speak and Spell is? Okay.
Nope.
Okay. That's fine.
Sorry. I don't.
No, that's okay. That's why I asked first, because if there's no register to it, then there's no nostalgia from the joke. But evidently, whatever weapon she has, she's typing in some key code to it, and there's a robotic voice that is saying each of the letters as she's typing it in. So it's E-A-I-O. No, it's not doing all vowels, but effectively that's what it's doing.
I'll blow it up. I mean, I don't blow it up. I will just interfere.
You've tricked her into where she thinks she can pull off this doomsday weapon for you.
Oh yeah.
But you're going to make an attack. Let's check quickly in with Sinnoch, as there are several animal-related puns that have gone back and forth between you and Cowgirl.
We're really having a great time over here. Our favorite things are free to hand. Animal puns, punching.
Cowgirl does seem like she's having a good time right now. Sinnoch, you notice also that there's a little, like, well, maybe that's too small, like drone. There's a camera drone that seems to be getting some pretty choice shots of what's going on. It also has a stencil like painted on cowbell on it. And it does seem to mostly be oriented around watching Cowgirl as she's like slapping her hands together, and the tassels that come down from her big leather jackets clack together. And she says, hun, I sure could give you a few pointers on sprucing up your outfit and getting you into the now. If you want any makeover tips, I'll help you out with it after I kick your ass.
Well, how do I look from this angle? And I do a quick vogue before dipping and vaulting off a car and then hopping off of her shoulder, grabbing that drone.
Okay. So are we confronting her here? Or were you trying to pull off some kind of trick? What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is action-wise. This is probably a confrontation because I get to take something from somebody in that sense. Or I could roll my new move, Dancing with Fire.
Oh, goodness. Tell us about Dancing with Fire.
So Dancing with Fire is a move from the Focused that I bought last session. When you have the opportunity to address a large audience in an interview in front of a crowd, etc., roll with humanity on a 10 plus hold 3, on a 7 to 9 hold 1. On a miss, you gain no opportunities but suffer no ill effects. Cue applause, you were pretty. So I'll snatch up the drone and be like, I don't know, everybody. Classics are classics for a reason. Ding. I don't say the ding, but that's sort of the grin and wink combo.
Love it. You are rolling with humanity, which is flat for you. Let's see how this goes.
Yep, and this is a playbook move, so I don't.
You don't have to worry about trust or confidence.
Truth. Oh, it's a failure.
Oh, goodness. Well, you were just pretty, I guess.
I was just pretty.
Okay. Yeah, I think what happens, you were vaulting over her. And despite the fact that she is, as said before, a little beefy, she's actually a little faster than you anticipated. You did this once before, the vaulting over her. She anticipates it by not attacking you, but just moving so she isn't where you anticipated her to be standing dumbfounded. You still look cool, but because she moves, she pivots and ends up like shoving you forward. I'm imagining I'd thrown up that it was like a street festival going on, so maybe there's something for you to run into. Like
it's like the Taste of Atlantica weekend. So there's all of these
writing
like
it down.
food stalls.
Taste of Atlantica. There's got to be a food cart that gets knocked over
for sure
by you.
What kind of food?
Oh man, what is the kind of food? Is it I don't want to go hot dog cart. I want to go something little, maybe a little bougie. Cuban.
I mean, we're in Atlantica City. This is basically Miami, so Cuban would be a pretty easy sell here.
I mean, I've just got something I'm going to pitch out. Does Ooloo have a little cart that he takes out?
Ooloo cart. Yeah, of weird alien foods.
So like some of it will try and crawl onto you.
Yep. And my response to this is like a moment of really visceral discomfort that I have to shove aside because, of course, I'm fighting somebody and they're watching me. So I'm like, try some.
Nice. That is. Ooh. Is she into alien food? No, I think that's a Whoa, get that shit away from me. She backs off a little bit, little squicked out by alien food that you threatened her
But it's
with.
still wiggling. That's got to be calorie burning.
What, you calling me fat, girl? It's pure muscle. Tan, you're hot. We cut away from Sinnoch facing off with Cowgirl while Oscuro has lured miscalculation in, and Oscuro will pick up with
I
Oscuro.
think which.
Did I freeze? Am I here?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you're here. You
Okay,
froze just a little.
Okay. So we'll cut away with Sinnoch facing off with Cowgirl. Then when we come back, Oscuro will be making this attack on miscalculation. We cut back to Herne being called upon by Maxwell. So Maxwell, you were trying to reach out to Herne, and let's I think you need to persuade Herne to speak to you right now. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So basic move, persuade. That's trust aligned, and I'm at 0 now.
And you are rolling with humanity.
I have a 1 in that.
Good.
Because I bought it. And I rolled boxcars, so 13.
What is it that you say that he immediately responds to? You have absolutely persuaded him.
Herne, are you all right? Are you there?
It is coming. Maxwell, we should leave the city. It cannot be saved.
What is coming, Herne?
The darkness.
We can't leave the city. We are its defenders.
Perhaps it can be contained. But not by us. Find others. Call upon the Atlantean. Call upon another who will defend. We must go. We must leave, Maxwell.
Herne, I must know more about what it is if I'm to find others to fight against it.
A darkness from another dimension is bleeding through. It has been held at bay, but the gates are open. I feel it. The scion it hunts for is weak. We should find the scion, the one it wants. Give her to it. Then we will effectively defend this city. Yes. That is what we should do, Maxwell.
All right, then I will have to do some research. We will have to work together to find out more. Herne, can you take control over again, at least for a little bit longer? Toni will see us shortly.
Yes. I will take over the body. Do not try to trick me into facing the darkness, Maxwell, or I will abandon you again to your fate. You will die, and I will find another, perhaps centuries from now.
Do not threaten me, Herne. If you wish to leave, I have never been a prison to you.
You are my anchor for now, and will remain so.
And you are a guest. You should remember that.
And then you transformation sequence from Maxwell to Herne again, and you have control. But you feel that unfamiliar feeling, Maxwell, of Herne's concern.
Would a less delicate person call it fear?
Perhaps.
Mm.
Not that Herne's ever seen a psychologist who could actually authoritatively define that emotion, but perhaps.
Blossom, we must get the team together. We must abandon this trading. There is something terrible coming to this city.
Okay, I'll send out a message. Yeah. Unzip from a little plastic baggie.
Nice. You pull out your giant iPad. Cool. And I think Toni will fly over to you, Herne, and say, can I help?
There's no way Toni did not see a little
Yeah.
old man falling.
Yeah. Who she recently saw at her high school.
And she's holding the jacket
Yeah.
sleeve.
And she
Oh,
kind of hands the sleeve to Herne.
he will look at it with disgust and frustration and throw it into the lake.
Oh, this bastard. I love
You
it.
get like a and Blossom treks off to get the sleeve.
Toni, you must prepare yourself to leave this city.
We're going on a trip?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have time to tell my parents? There's still a little touch and go about this whole.
Yes. You will be informed when you should redeploy.
Okay. Are you okay? You seem different.
Herne is fine.
Okay. What should I do right now, sir?
Come with us.
Her eyes flash with excitement. She's being put in the field as far as she's concerned. I think Blue Orchid says, "Is this a citywide thing? Like, it
At
seems
the
big."
very least.
Okay. I need to call my mom. And then he opens a portal and kind of disappears a little bit. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, more?
I was figuring that I will, if he disappears, then I will look to Blossom and Toni, and I will say, Blossom, we should return. Do you wish to leap, or should Herne carry you?
I could gesture my head like, come on. I leapt all the way. There's not even any buildings this direction.
And I think in kind of very weird juxtaposition of what we've just seen, we have her pick up Blossom, and
That's awesome. Got me into that. You were going to use your phone. Were you trying to reach out to the other PCs?
I think you get like a maybe not on the group chat because she's gonna put like Herne's kind of like freaking out about something. Team meeting.
Cool. So team meeting, we cut back. Oscuro what is it that you've lured miscalculation in? She's made miscalculation about your weaknesses.
Oh, I see. Yeah, what I'm going to do is she's typing into her little thing that says out loud these letters, right? A and E. And I'm playing an A and an E, and then I'll shift the thing around because these are musical notes and music is a kind of math, which I will inform her. But before that, I will basically I don't know, take over is probably the wrong. I will dismantle it. I will just dismantle it. I will take the power away from it. Just like put the sound sprites in there, wreak a little havoc, and tell her, play some music at her that I think, it's probably video killed the radio star.
Nice.
And I'll tell her then that music is another kind of math.
Oh, that's really cool.
And if she wants to live, she should maybe run. But who knows how this works out, right? So maybe I should roll before I.
Yeah. Are you wielding your powers here?
I
It
think
feels like
that's what I am doing. Yes, that's a confidence line thing, right?
it sure is.
Okay.
Confidence plus power. Your confidence is 1, your power is 0.
Power 0, you're all right. Roll with daring. Oh well. Let's see how this goes. It's a 9, it's still a 9. So I wonder if I do have a touchstone I want to burn here.
Ooh,
I mean, that's what they are there for, right?
Oh,
Where are my touchstones? There they are. Yeah, I think I will remember what Isidro told me about control and these little sprites and stuff like that, and I will burn that touchstone. So I get that up to a 10, because right now I just want to take her out, and on 10 I choose 2. Yeah, I will take hold of something vulnerable to me, which is the thing that she's using, and I think I will neutralize her as a threat by doing that.
All right.
And I will tell her that she maybe should get out now and take her goons with her. Maybe leave the cowgirl. Sinnoch seems to like flirting with her.
It's not flirting.
Well, come on now.
Oh, okay, it's a little bit flirty, but it's not
could've.
serious.
No, it ain't yet. Cool. So miscalculation says, what'd she say? Zoinks or zounds? Which should we think? Zoinks or zounds? Zounds! Defeated my speaking Spellatron. And she will she lets out a quick whistle, and the shark people are like, God, and they're like melting back in. One dives down into, like, pulls up a sewer grate and dives down, and the others look back at the guy who just jumped in the sewer, like, just whatever, we're out of here.
I look at him and I say, hey, do you want to put that foot truck up again before you run off? Maybe. Huh? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Thank you.
Yeah, but listen, it's no offense on them. I like that food. It's fine.
Yeah.
Picks it up. She puts it, and then he jumps off. He doesn't really have shoulders. So he can't tell if his shoulders are slumped.
The shark guys just like turn to each other. You know what's delicious? Pork.
Nice. Beautiful. Cool. So let's see. Yeah. So Jen, let's talk real quick. How do we imagine? Because I'd love to have a group scene for Herne. How do you think this not flirting fight might go with Cowgirl? What do we see?
I think that Theo trips Cowgirl a couple times and just, uses her size against her, because I'm not calling her fat. It's all muscle.
Right.
Which is not fun. It's not fun to fall down. And Cowgirl gets in a couple of good shots, you know, at one point, probably Theo gets, you know, horn tossed, and that's not the best thing in the world. But I don't really know particularly how the fight finishes. I mean, does one of us get like some kind of ping that's like, fine, I'm gonna put you in the dirt later. Bye.
I could see that. I could see the as yet unresolved fight.
Maybe we each get some kind of like high priority text ping. And we're both like, glare, check phone, glare. I gotta do, and like at the same time, I think that's the great panel gag where we share the same word balloon as we say, I've got to look into this, you know.
Yeah. I love that. Crime's a wasting. I got other places to be.
All right, well, tell Miscalculation that she's a terrible leader.
Yep, I'll add it to the litany. Get new costume, girl.
No, you first.
See, like
Walking
looks.
away.
Oh, it's just, oh man.
Just a couple of tail lashes mixed in.
Yeah, and there's a moment where she definitely steals a glance at tail lashes. That is.
It's like, oh shit, I thought that was fake.
Oh damn. Well, I'll remember that later.
Shows what I know.
She's out. Cool. So let's cut to a group meeting.
I will say to Theo though, like, I get it. You feel attracted. Would have been nice to have some help against the shark folks though.
Noted.
Just saying.
Ooh.
Just saying, if I was fighting the shark folks with you, then Cowgirl would also be sideswiping us.
Also true.
She's not a lightweight.
It's all that.
Not a lot.
I wonder if she reacts to. Oh yes, she reacts to red. I should have seen that.
Yeah, of course.
Hmm.
She doesn't like my costume.
I think maybe you should wear a cape.
Ooh. Oh man, maybe next time.
Mhm.
Like a really long one.
Yeah, like you can swing it around a bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure she'll love that.
Cowgirl drone catching a little bit of this sequence here because of
Yep.
course they don't
Yep.
want to take pictures of Cowgirl actually running away from a fight.
Oh, of course not.
Does not pull well.
No. No, and once I'm pretty sure that she's like gone and not immediately starting fresh shit, then it's time to go to the group meeting.
Cool. We started late. Should we take a quick bio for everybody? I just realized it's been a bit. Okay, cool. Let's take a bio. All right. So we jump to the group meeting with Herne, as well as Tony Shaw and Blue Orchid. But a Blue Orchid looks just slightly nervous, checking his phone. He knows he's pushing it right now, but this is important. So where is this meeting taking place? Since it's Herne is the instigator, more or less. Where do you think it is?
Well, I'm going to kind of defer to Blossom since you called, folks. Where'd you tell people to meet up? And I waited until you put food in your mouth because that amuses me.
Thank you. I mean, just before, or I don't know if it was just before we started recording again or just after we started recording again, but mentioned that Ooloo's was one of my touchstones that was back in play. I mean, maybe Ooloo's where a very irritated Ooloo is just arriving back as well.
That sounds fun. Coming back
Never
from the
staff,
festival.
I'm sure. So
All right, so yeah, so I suppose we because Ooloo's is used to seeing us there. And I think that as I let you down and Toni and I like land, it's gonna be easier talking with Maxwell. So I'm going to kind of inside of Herd's head, let me take control and the two of us try to explain what is going on. Thank you. And I'll do the transformation and look at Toni.
Is there lightning involved in the transformation from between the two, or just wind?
I think the Herne to Maxwell is probably not that impressive. I think it's probably just sort of a
you just you sigh.
Right. And in case we're kind of smalls back down a little bit. But it's much more dramatic with the other way around.
Who amongst this crew, Maxwell, does K-Sphere seem to gravitate towards the most?
Probably Blossom.
Nice.
I mean,
I like that.
Yeah, because I mean there is a closeness between both Herne and Maxwell for Blossom. I think K-Sphere recognizes that, and I don't know. There's an energy I think that probably Blossom gives off that K-Sphere would like.
also, I think Blossom, even in either state of Kesmir, can kind of playfully manhandle.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Roughhouse.
Yeah, because I kind of imagine Obscuro a little too frenetic and energetic for K-Sphere. And there's probably a weird smell to Foxy Sinnoch that isn't quite there. So I think it's probably Blossom.
Nice. So you guys are now seated around a cafe table. Toni's looking around, but she's absolutely never been here before. I don't think she's ever been to Little Mars before. She's flown over.
And I would have said to Toni at the transformation, I will explain this when we have time later.
Okay.
I do like a little and just slide his sleeve underneath the table to him, the one that got torn off.
I'll take my coat off.
Nice.
I'll lean into Toni and be like, only order the French fries.
I mean, I could try something.
Only order the French fries.
Okay.
The rest of us is poisonous to humans, so don't try.
He does have
trying.
ketchup now.
I'm sure I'm getting my regular order put in front of me as like they just know.
Nice. Like an orange plastic tray, And
It's
then
metal.
a port.
It's
Yes,
tray.
metal. That's right, because of the
Right.
stuff inside it.
Right.
I
metal.
imagine like the menu had, like where it has the billboard type of menu behind the counter. And I could just see like there's the French fries, and beside it there's a sticker now with ketchup.
I like that. There are a bunch of other things where it's like absolutely alien symbols, and some of them continue moving, like they undulate. So a portal opens up and Blue Orchid comes to sit down, keeping his mask on. Is Sinnoch or Theo or Because Herne is not Herne. So, like, is everybody supered up, or is it just Blossom and some regular human-looking peoples?
No, I'm super up.
Okay.
Wait, we didn't know that Toni was coming, or did somebody tell us that she was there?
If you want your
I
character to
didn't
have known,
say,
I think
but-
you know, right?
Okay.
I think that that's a protocol thing that we would just do.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's respect for your
and-
your friend's superhero IDs and stuff.
And hence, I'm Sinnoch right now.
Yeah, and I'm Oscuro, so I have a coffee in front of me, which I can't drink because of the cold. But of course, I order something because otherwise that would be bad patronage.
Is the coffee poisonous?
No, the coffee's fine.
Oh, I love
Coffee is-
coffee.
That's human coffee. It's
The
not very
Coke is
good.
50-50.
I mean, when you get the coffee, I think you get a little selection of like, do you want salt in your coffee? Do you want sugar in your coffee? Do you want
Sulfuric acid in your coffee.
yeah,
And it's like the condiments tray for the coffee.
want
includes
alkali,
Baking
Strong
soda.
yeah,
There's a
Do
little
not-
Cascade sample box.
yeah.
This is so good. I love this. Like
Do not
running.
There's
try
one
the-
little
Do not try the blue milk in your coffee. You're not Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that's a Star Wars thing. Tony
That
would
is
say.
not really blue milk, so no.
Okay.
It's blue
She
stuff.
goes
I mean,
up
you
front.
can-
She comes back with water, like a bottled water and some fries with ketchup in a small little container.
You checked that wasn't salt water.
She puts it back down. That's fine.
I am sorry for the rather abrupt calling of this meeting, ending of our training. However, Herne is extremely concerned. He says that a portal to another dimension has opened, a great darkness is coming through, and the entire city will be destroyed. He is recommending we leave.
Vern is recommending that.
He has no intention of staying, though he has informed me there is some sort of scion here that was perhaps instrumental to keeping the portal closed and now is no longer able. His other recommendation was finding the scion and throwing them to the darkness in hopes of placating it, I suppose, and keeping it from coming.
So like,
This wasn't his thing, Justice. Was that just?
How,
Well,
pardon me,
justice-
but how cowardly of Herne. I would not expect this of him at all.
that will not be very helpful in our discussion right now.
Tony's like eating the fries and totally not kicking into this conversation.
I
Very well.
would prefer that we keep it in a conversation where I can continue to be here to discuss it, if that's possible. That is Herne's suggestions off of the information I have thus far.
And
I-
if we
To
found
run
a
away or-
replacement scion who could take on those burdens anew.
Maybe we should try to find out where this dimensional portal is and
Yes.
what is meant by this darkness coming through, and then we can figure out who the scion is.
I wholeheartedly agree. I believe
Let's not-
research.
Put the cart before the horse.
He did
Unless-
suggest that maybe the Atlantean would be powerful enough to
then
contain the
surely
darkness.
us and the Atlantean could deal with, and we wouldn't need to
Would
run
still
away.
would still be very helpful to know more about this whole situation, because I noticed that no darkness has yet swept over Atlantica City, so we might have some time left.
I believe so as well. I will say, I have only experienced something like this with Herne, well, honestly, once before.
Do tell, please.
There's an old children's amusement facility.
Mhm.
And
Wait, the children's facility, what kind of playground or a
Theme
mental
park?
health?
the Princess Pizza Palace.
Oh, that one.
Herne
Hmm.
refused to be near it.
Oh.
Strange.
I mean, a lot of spirits active there, but
It's the only time I've known Herne to retreat from anything. And just for clarification, Herne does not seek justice, Obscuro.
oh, then I misunderstood.
Herne seeks vengeance.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Well, it sounds like we've got a few points to look into.
Mhm.
When this darkness might arrive, where it might arrive from, who the scion is and what might be weakening them.
Are they
What
willing participants
heroes?
in the whole thing?
Right, are they willing? What heroes can we gather to defend against this darkness? And how to keep the darkness from swallowing the fair city.
Yes.
Can you maybe, Maxwell, talk to Herne and try to find out if the Pizza Palace is connected to this darkness?
Yes. And I'm going to try and communicate with her to see if I can get some information on on anything he's tried to tell me here.
Yeah. I think it's in Herne's best interest to give you the information he understands here, right? Because you haven't said we're definitely going to fight it. You are leaning that way. But yeah, I think he will answer.
Yes, the pinprick hole to the universe, the domain of the darkness, can be found in the place once called Princess Pizza Party.
I will convey everything as it's coming into my head. And what is the nature of this darkness? Do you know? Can you tell me?
The darkness is how best to describe for your small mind.
Pitiful mortal mind. Yes, yes, yes.
It is a god of evil.
I think I start doing that stream of consciousness convey, and as I get to a god of evil, god of evil.
Yes, held at bay by the scion who escaped into our realm, and now she has shirked her duty, and we will all pay.
Wait a second. That story was real then, or real enough.
What?
There was a story about the Princess's Pizza Palace, that she had escaped from another dimension, fighting the darkness and holding it at bay through laughter and happiness at the Pizza Palace happening. That was the story that fueled the whole place. But
Toni
she
pauses with like a French fry in her mouth. I totally watched like this, the like Dead Malls, the YouTube series. They like totally went into that place once.
They did.
It's pretty
That
spooky.
was pretty brave. Most people stay out of it. No, I was when it was still operating. I was in there a few times as a kid. So
I went in there one time and there really wasn't anything in there.
I went in during its heyday, and it was quite tremendously fun.
yeah,
Blue Orchid nervously says, "Well, you know, the YouTube show uses pretty scary music, Tony. So that's probably, you know, that's the thing. Probably it made it scary and stuff."
Obscuro,
there was something hinky about that place forever, but
you say in the story
Mhm.
that laughter kept it at bay.
that is what the princess the story said, that she had escaped, was keeping the door closed. I'd have to read I'd have to find the blog that's probably on the internet. But that was what kept the darkness at bay, the laughter and joy in that place. Made it
Poking
very
around for a fan website.
Oh, you totally find a wiki.
And now
Like, it's not hard.
closed
You just
down.
Google it, and it's like one of the first entries. So
Mhm.
it's in the wiki created for the YouTube show that Tony mentioned. There's a Princess Pizza Party entry that links to some actual Wikipedia actual articles about the place from before.
Mhm, mhm.
And then you find link to like a GeoCities account and also what is the archive.org of the website for Princess Pizza Party from like the
Right.
90s.
Maybe
And
a
it kind of looks
Wayback,
like, if you guys
yeah.
ever seen the Space Jam website that's still active, by the way, it's hilarious. You really should go. It's amazing. But anyway, it totally has a GeoCities AOL look to it for Princess Pizza Party. You like hover if you hover over the chocolate buffalo, you're like,
Yeah, your mouse cursor becomes a little like sparkling magic wand with a
totally.
star
Yes,
on
and
the
it
end.
leaves little
Yep.
particles. Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. All of those things on the
Mhm.
archive.org version of the Princess Pizza Party website.
This
which
is
now just-
magical. I love it. It's so awful.
I think Blossom's just like nodding away, but she's behind her food. She started off Googling like contact ways to contact the Atlantean, like if they're in the network, and then just like, maybe Neutron Fist has got contact details in the network, and I mean, he's pretty powerful. But, we've got to get allies for this, it seems.
So if laughter was to stop it, and laughter has ended there,
It has been landed for a while now, though.
could have taken time.
Probably. I have some contacts in the, let's say, lower echelons of this the city. Maybe I can reach out to them and ask them some questions about what's going on there and what they know about it.
I can attempt to hit the library, at least see if I can find out some legends of this
Darkness.
this god. Team, I will say that it is entirely possible that Herne will not be willing to face this.
Well, we can't force him.
Right. No other issues, so it's fine. Any help you can give us is appreciated.
I mean, there's other powerful heroes that we can get in contact with.
We should, yeah.
And maybe this is not a thing that can be just solved by pushing power into it. Maybe there needs to be a more permanent, more subtle solution for this instead of just punching it in.
And
that would need Maxwell.
And you might catch an interesting little look on Maxwell's face as you say that. And yes, of course, I will I will be here to fight it regardless, I suppose.
I don't mean that like that. You don't need to fight it if that's. Let's figure out what that is and what we need to do, and then figure out what we have, who will have to do, right?
Exactly. Knowledge is the greatest weapon.
That's what we have you for,
All right.
Professor.
Let's divide up some tasks.
Okay. So looking at time, I
Mhm.
think we divvy up the tasks and then
Mhm.
maybe we do one quick scene, maybe we call it there,
Mhm.
and then that will be the end of our volume, is you guys gearing up for the big threat. Then there'll be an annual, which will be like $8.99 supersized issue,
Mhm.
and that will be all
Ooh.
about fighting the darkness.
Ooh, nice.
Cool. So how do you imagine divvying things up?
Well, I will go and deal with my darker knowledge and commune with the underworld. I have a few ideas about that, but I think that that seems like something that would be useful here, right?
Oh yeah.
Blossom is definitely going for the allies. You know, the big larger than life superheroes.
You
That
just want to
sounds
have
really fun.
you
I am
just want to
super-
reconnect with Neutron guy.
Yeah, I mean, amongst many other to be named in future
Cool. Yeah.
times, other heroes.
Cool.
He's just one of many, just a nameless face in a crowd.
Mhm.
Too
That's
many.
it.
to
This is
bother
where we
naming
introduce
other
Puno
ones.
Phantasma.
Awesome.
Nice.
I imagine research is what I'm going to go and do. I mean, this falls literally into what I'm a professor of.
Which of course you're doing that with Ars.
With ours,
Would you say that you've got a firm grasp on the arse?
I will say that they are sounding out with a cloud of information.
Good. It's good to hear.
Oh my goodness.
Because you know,
This is so good.
when the arse is silent,
It's deadly.
it's deadly.
It's deadly.
Oh,
Their
Lord.
battle cry is "Let her rip."
They don't even know.
Okay. Good. Excellent. Very good. Theo, what do I think she'll be doing? Honestly, trying to convince her girlfriend to leave town, and also following up on some weird long shots on the internet.
Yeah, or you could
Nice.
come with me, because a little backup might.
Yeah,
not be
if you
the
need
worst
backup,
thing.
I'd love to provide it. Sure.
Don't know if I really need it, but it can't hurt. Maybe
Nice.
maybe I'll find someone to flirt with.
Maybe you will. Maybe they'll be cute.
I doubt it.
I kind of
But,
love this picture of Ars, by the way.
Thank
They're
you.
very earnest.
Want to know something funny about them?
Yeah.
They're actually the paranormal group from my college, College of Charleston. I went to College of Charleston for a year when I was on enforced sabbatical from the University of South Carolina.
good times.
Good times. These guys are great. So they're current paranormal folks?
Within the last year or so.
That's great. That's great. Sweet. That sounds like we've got marching orders, and I know where to launch things for our return, our annual. Right. We can't go to the second volume until we resolve this gigantic plot that's going to have crossovers with a bunch of other comics. Like the Atlantean comic is going to be crossing over in here at some point, if only to make an appearance. And a number of others, plus Puno Phantasmal, will at least show up so that I can say Puno Phantasmal. Good. let's jump over and do some stars and wishes. Oh, let's do end of session questions.
I also have one question before we
Yes.
close, because I have an idea about the dark power I want to contact, and I want to know if you want to know that now,
okay.
or you want to
Yeah,
later. So I've been thinking, because this is basically Miami, right? So there are gonna be a shit ton of Orisha hanging around there, right? These are kind of lower, but for Santeria. And one of the more powerful and the more ambiguous ones is IGoA, I think the god, the Orisha, let's say the Orisha of waste and death and stuff like that. So probably that's not a very harmless spirit though. And I don't know if you want me to have a contact of this kind of magnitude.
This game can probably handle it. I'll just need to do a little bit of research.
Okay. Yeah. That's why I wanted to bring it up now and not
Thank
hit you with it by next time. I'll write the name down in the chat. If I can't spell today. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I super would never have spelled that right. Thank you very much. And if you've got any articles, because I know you've run a game in Miami and probably used that. So if you've got any stuff you want to throw my way in Slack, link me up, save me Googling, because I'm lazy. You know, I have the Wikipedia article, though.
Yeah, that was my basic touchstone for that. So
really interesting. Nice. A depiction of IGoA is very odd, like two different faces split in half and what looks like a coconut with eyes and mouth drawn on it and a stem coming out of it. Wow, that's some messed up stuff. I got to read this. Pictures are cool. Thank you for that heads up. I appreciate it. I always like when I don't get caught flat-footed. Not that I wouldn't, I would trust you to just kind of guide and I'd ask questions, but he always is good if I'm going to portray the baddie that I have at least an inkling. So thank you.
it's not necessarily bad. He's just
okay. Sorry,
powerful
entities.
He's a powerful spirit, and he's a bit of a trickster. So, which might be interesting with Sinnoch in the mix.
Could indeed. Trickster v. Trickster. All right, end of session. At the end of the session, take a moment to reflect on how the events of the game went and what big changes happened or seemed to be on their way. Then each of you will choose a teammate and ask them one of three questions. Let's start in the middle. We're going to start with Blossom.
End of session ones, not end of arc. I'll do asking Maxwell, how did I affect you this session?
Ooh, I think that there are a couple of really neat moments there. I think the leap up to grab me was a beautiful kind of neat moment, but it shows that concern, which had kind of just come off of that, conversation with Blue Orchid, which was funny in its own little way, but, oh, a little silver fox, sort of thing. And then, of course, saving Maxwell, huge. But I think the other side of that, when Herne was asking, shall I carry you, showed a deep trust that we don't, there's a lot of like prickly edges to all of us with where we are and what that showed a real deep trust that I thought was super cool. It just felt very team, and it made Herne, it made Maxwell realize how important Blossom is to them. A lot of our whole story, I feel like it has been the friendship between the three of them. And I thought that was cool and powerful. So, it made both of them feel very close and connected. So Let's see, where are you at?
1 confidence and flat trust.
I'll take you to trust up 1.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Let's jump over to Sinnoch.
All right. Let's see here. Yeah, Oscuro, how do you think that I affected the team this session?
How did you affect the team this session? I mean, you took care of the cowgirl, but I felt that you were a bit self-indulgent with the whole, yes, and now I'm flirting with her, and now I'm flirting with her again, and she's cute, and I'm being okay, understandable, but there's a little lack of focus there. Sorry, that is what, yeah, well, that's, Oscuro, yeah, it's all about focus. So I think that was not, I mean,
Really didn't intend it to be flirting, by the way.
yeah, well, that's how it came across a little.
I mean, Theo kind of flirts with everybody, but I haven't had a lot of opportunities to let that side of her character out.
So maybe he doesn't know that.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
We haven't done a lot together, and yeah. So I think I will have to push your trust down a little.
All right,
Sorry.
that's okay. It's an honest answer.
Oh, what do you know? So then the 2 haven't gone. Should we, because Tyler needs to step away, should we jump over then to Sinnoch?
I mean, I just asked a question of
Sorry.
Oscuro.
The 2 of you were talking and my brain flipped you. So
No.
we'll go to Oscuro. I apologize.
Gotcha.
I think I would like to. Well, I think I would like to return a question here, probably to you, because I like talking to you, and I forget where I find the questions. There are somewhere.
B plot moves from 69.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, I would like how I think I'll just return the question. How did I affect the team session?
I think that you were thinking fairly strategically throughout the session as far as the team effectiveness is concerned. I think with some minor exceptions, you were willing to work with the foibles of your teammates. And let's see. God, what else was I thinking? Sorry, I'm distracted because the noise of my housemates having guests over has increased a little. Hopefully that helps. Strategic team, talking things out, have some interesting connections. So yeah, I think that you were generally your usual there for the job self. So I think we're gonna push your trust up 1. Nudge.
What? Positive trust for
I know.
Oscuro? What
I
even
know.
is this game anymore?
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah.
And last but certainly not least, we go to Blossom.
I believe we go to B.
We go to Herne. God, my brain today. Sorry, guys.
But I am going to go to Blossom. Blossom, how did Herne affect the team?
I need you specifically, but yeah. I mean, is shook too strong a word? Because to everyone, it seemed like he was just saying, run to the hills or sacrifice an innocent. And I mean, I think if Maxwell wasn't like trusting of, I think Blossom would have been questioning if it was really Herne and not some other dark force. So I think it's like, I think it really does kind of reshape a lot of, or make her question a lot of her thoughts. I mean, did you mention to Blossom or to the team?
To the team.
Well, I think for all of them, I
fits, yeah.
might be putting words in other people's mouths, but I think it kind of makes all the other teammates question Herne and how they have previously viewed him. You know, maybe we've viewed him too favorably. I don't know. Maybe it's just a moment of weakness. But it's definitely sowed some doubts. Yeah, your trust is going down.
I figured, yeah.
Dang.
Makes sense.
Okay. With that, my stumbling and fumbling there out of the way. Let's go to
High five to Blossom.
yeah. Crazy stuff. Let's do stars and wishes. We start with wishes so that we can end with stars. We'd like to kick off with wishes.
Is next time the weekend where Jen isn't there, just so I can phrase my
Correct.
wishes accordingly? Oh, okay. So,
But we
Okay.
are playing this.
That's a great question. I think we don't. I think we
Okay.
do Pandora because this is a big annual. I'd like for everybody to be present. So
Makes sense.
but thank you
So-
for asking because I was unclear in chat earlier.
Is it then fair to assume this is a big break and we're going to have that for a bit?
Yes.
Okay.
I plan on running Pandora for August, and then in September we do the annual of Power Beyond Doubt and the big dealing with the darkness.
So I know we go in a lot of comic book terminology, but I'm a TV guy. This is season break.
Yeah.
Yeah, season break, and we come back for Sweet Week where we do a
Mm.
big thing.
Did anyone jump forward on doing a wish or?
No
Oh,
one has jumped
no,
forward.
okay.
We just need to find
Yeah,
how the
yeah,
wishes should be phrased, which
um,
makes sense.
Yeah. So this is for wishes for when we come back to this, and we'll have everyone. I mean, at least one of my wishes, which I feel has been set up with. So it's the I should remember his name better.
Neutron Fist?
Neutron Fist, yeah. And because it started to get mentioned, I want to just see a plethora of heroes, even if it's just little moments. I like the idea of just definitely seeing the Atlantean, definitely seeing I've already
Bruno Fantasmo!
Yeah, and Bruno Fantasmo. Yeah, so
I'll not give up that ghost.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so I may have other wishes, but I can't think of the moment.
I'll hop in. So I'm going to hit wishes kind of off of game as a whole, and since we're looking at a big break. I wish we were hitting arcs faster because XP is not generating particularly quickly. Now that, part of that is rolls. I personally have rolled surprisingly well. Other folks have not. But when we hit into it's just on rolls, there's not a continuous a continuous move on XP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think my story cadence is causing problems. Maybe
And it's
maybe
not
we should do the
problems. I don't want to
yeah.
say problems, but
It's it's affecting the XP flow. That's a problem.
because I am wanting, this is sort of a wish, I am wanting to get myself into that position where Herne and Maxwell are having that kind of showdown of what control looks like. And we've had a pretty good long run. I felt like that was going to hit somewhere at that 5th advance.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be when I could shift a playbook. That would be when I would be able to make that difference of transformation. And maybe that's something on the other side of the annual. That's a hard thing to hit in like 1 or 2 sessions, if that's what the annual is. But that's, it's been entirely fun. So I'm not, again, it's not a problem. It just hasn't felt like we've hit what seems like an XP generator.
I hear you.
And
yeah, I was just going to say, maybe based off the feedback, and also because we're going to skip a month and it might be a little hard to remember back a month and pass and through a game, because we're going to be playing a different game in the intervening time. Maybe we should do inner story art just to make sure that that doesn't get lost along the way or missed. So let's
hit that real quick.
Yeah. Should we finish wishes and then before we do stars, we'll do into story art questions.
Okay. So other wishes, other comments going along in. I am greatly enjoying how the game is set up. But as a wish, I wish there was slightly more flexibility in like how to set up powers. And I want to ask Jen, in the advance that says, and it's one of my, swap 1 power and 1 playbook move with other available options. Is that within my own, or is that unplayed playbook, unplayed super?
Honestly, the rules are, as written, are tighter on powers than I am. And that is mostly to put a bank up against the wall so that people don't insecurely flail around and go, I don't know what kind of powers I can pick. A lot of the stuff that's there is there to be an example, right?
Gotcha.
Like Herne's weakness to mistletoe. Perfect, really good. The examples that are there are not the only thing that should work. So yeah, I've been kind of thinking about that too. It's like, man, I kind of want the claws from the Untamed Power list, but I don't know how to get them. Because it's like, oh, take an additional love and rival and gain a power, huh?
I like the idea of maybe being able to spread out a little on the powers just to see evolution in the character.
Mm-hmm.
And especially because with the Paragon,
yeah, I mean, if you don't see anything on your list,
well, it's with the Paragon, I've taken practically everything.
Mm-hmm.
The Paragon can build so many, and I'm not critiquing. I'm just saying, how set up.
Yeah.
But
I think that available should probably read as like powers that somebody else hasn't taken.
Okay.
Oh, that's I like that phrasing.
Yeah.
Awesome. That,
although I believe as written, my intention was to have it be, something that's attached to one of the playbooks you're playing as. But
gotcha.
Yeah, I was wondering actually about the same thing, because my associated powers are, let's say they're not super powerful, right? They're just basically master detective and supernatural senses, and I swap these out for my supernatural servants. That
Mhm.
kind of leaves me pretty much in a lurch. So I was wondering about the whole, how do you even would you even justify that in a fiction? But
Yeah, I think that's a neat concept, because then it lets kind of evolve as you work into the character, kind of evolving out
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
nuance to what the character concept is. Awesome. I will keep that in mind. Thank you very much, Jen.
Yeah.
And my final wish, I think, is I want there to be real tension for Herne and Maxwell. I want Maxwell to have to really fight to get Herne to stay, or there be a showdown, or I want that to be a big internal conflict.
Okay.
And those are my wishes.
Thank you, Tyler. Those are good wishes. So far, we have Alex and Tyler. So Jen or Sabine, who would like to go?
I don't know how to phrase my wishes. I like the way we're going. I want to have this spirit interaction with some powerful spirits. Yeah, and maybe some interaction with magical society people, because there have to be more than just me and my mom, right? Basically. So I'd love to.
And Isidro.
Oh, Isidro, yeah, but he's gone now, so well.
He's coming back. He'll probably be showing up in the
Oh.
annual.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Great. No, that's Miguel. That's not Sabine. That's Miguel. It's like, oh yeah, great.
Any more, Sabine?
I really would like to figure out how to get a touchstone, but well.
I think you just say you have one, kind of like Jen did. I'm going to
Okay.
take Cowgirl as a touchstone.
Oh, okay, cool.
Is there anyone from today's session you'd like for Oscuro to take as a touchstone?
I'd like to say that I took Cowgirl as a touchstone because I have a playbook move. However,
okay,
like
sorry.
when you share an impactful scene with somebody, you can be like, touchstone, gimme, and if the parties involved agree, then it happens.
Okay, then.
It is rare that I will ever say that an NPC would not allow that to happen, because that sounds awesome to me.
In that case, I would like to have a scene with an NPC.
Okay, cool. Good stuff.
It also works in PC to PC contact. Just so y'all know.
Thank you, Sabine. Jen.
Let's see, wishes. I wish to feel like my character's having an impact on this annual story. Definitely feel like this is well out of her wheelhouse, but we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, that's a fair question and concern.
Yep. But I mean, other than that, like, nothing really has me, putting my antennae up and worrying about this game. Like, things are good. I'm having fun.
Okay. I'll take it. I'm not going to pry for more wishes. Had to go to a second page. So I got a few. Good stuff. Let's pause before we do stars and do the end of story arc questions. So when you're at the end of a larger story, ask yourself the following questions. If you answer any of them with a yes, you gain 1 XP. If you answer all 3 of them with a yes, you gain not 3, 2 XP. I will call upon folks in the reverse wish order. Jen, for Sinnoch, did you improve things for yourself in the last number of sessions?
I don't know. I feel like I've been building a stronger connection with my team, and that's been pretty cool. I probably haven't been tanking my classes beneath my own personal threshold for success. So sure, I'll say yeah.
All right. And did you build stronger connections with your touchstones?
Certainly have more of them than when I started this arc. So I'm gonna.
I think that can be seen as like you're
Yeah.
deepening relationships, growing more touchstones, becoming more connected. I think that fulfills the spirit of the question as I understand it.
I feel that way too.
Good.
Did I improve things for the city?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think I've done some stuff.
Yeah, just to call one up recently of discussion, I think the So Super podcast is definitely going to improve some things for folks in the city because they were, problematic. Cool. Then you have earned 2 XP for Sinnoch. Sabine, Oscuro, did you improve things for yourself?
Don't think so. No,
Sadly agree.
no,
Did you build stronger connections with your touchstones?
no, I did not.
Did you improve things for the city?
Probably because I had I helped with the mafia thing.
Yes, and you also helped
And
with Tanaka
the bridge.
Michiko. Yes.
Yes.
Demon guitar person. So take
Yeah,
one
right.
one XP. Now, Tyler for Maxwell / Herne, did you improve things for yourself?
I'm going to say yes. I think Maxwell is in a better position than when we started this comic.
Yes, I strongly agree. I think the Maxwell Herne dynamic has shifted over time, and Maxwell is coming more to the fore and it's becoming more balanced. And I think that does improve things for Maxwell and also the pair of them. Did you build stronger connections with your touchstones?
I went through, I have lots of touchstones. I have 12, but yes,
Wow.
I've connected stronger with over half of them.
Good. And then did you improve things for the city?
I think I have.
I think you have as well. Last but certainly not least, Alex for Blossom. Did you improve things for yourself recently?
Now, this one I'm not sure about. This is one I'm the most unsure because, I mean, maybe not. I think not.
Do you feel as alone as you started?
She has a target in her sight, someone to shine on. So maybe not. So maybe there's a. I think
You
maybe,
did connect with Theo last time, right? That was
Mhm.
Yeah, I think she may be actually, even though there's been hardships, I think she might be hopeful. So okay, I've been one around.
The
I'm glad.
glimmer
XP
of
doesn't-
positivity.
doesn't hurt.
I think I feel like her growth is hard to see, is subtle, but I think that it's happening. So I'm glad that you agree.
Before I say my answer to the building stronger connections, since we were talking about touchstones and if you have an impactful scene, you ask. I feel like Blossom might have gotten one with Sinnoch, as in that
Talking
kind
about
of
friendships and
that
girls'
girlfriend
time.
relationship
Yeah.
that she's been missing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think she's had it.
That
Friendship
definitely
with Sinnoch,
felt
but not
like-
that kind of
Right.
tone of it has kind of shifted a little bit.
I think you might have had a moment with Blue Orchid as well.
Yeah,
that's
and also,
true.
I think I might already have one with.
Take it.
But anyway,
Write
I
down some
think
names.
That gets you a team.
Yeah. So I think yes.
Okay. Then
Um,
touchstones, yes.
And I've already presumptuously helped myself to a Blossom touchstone.
Yep.
I don't get a team yet, but next time.
Yeah, and
Next time, we're going to be such good friends.
Yeah, we're gonna earn some team. We're gonna have fun and
And
earn
then-
team.
So yeah, touchstones, yes. And then did you improve
So
things for the
super.
city?
I was there as well.
Yes, you were. You get to horn in on that credit. Be a credit monger.
Yeah,
Take it.
I heard Jen say that, and I'm like, well, I've got that one in the back. So
Good stuff. Okay. Excellent work. And now we're going to double ding you, Alex. You get to be the first to
I'm
express stars. Do you have any stars you'd like to hand out?
Yes, definitely. I really enjoyed Blue Orchid's inclusion in the scenes.
Good.
He was the right amount of presence. I felt like he didn't disappear from the scene, but he wasn't. This is the GM's favorite character.
Okay,
thing that's,
good.
like, you know,
That incredibly
I never
nervous
think you're going
about.
to do that, but you know, it's worth mentioning that you were nowhere near that. So
Okay,
I
good.
thought it's-
That is good. That is heartening
Yeah.
to hear. Thank you for expressing.
yeah.
that.
I really enjoyed the not flirting of Cowgirl and Sinnoch. It was totally not flirting. I mean, I never thought it in a like, oh, she's kind of cheating on Rory, but
Theo's a little smarmy. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
just say it. She's kind of
It
a
just felt
smarmy,
like-
flirty kind of person.
it didn't come across as smarmy. It just
Okay.
came off as like playful, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying there wasn't an attraction. I'm saying Theo wouldn't have actually acted on anything. It's just playful flirting.
Cut to like TikTok post of Cowgirl. Oh, there was a connection, y'all. Cool.
As the first person on the list, I'm not going to do the taking every single thing. So I will,
How generous.
because
If
I know
someone
it's like
doesn't
to be at
take
the
one,
other end. But-
if at the end there's one left behind that you're like, how did
you
they
just
not
get to
pick
say
that up? You can
ditto,
sneak it in.
ditto, and then just really troll for that one thing, one little second that no one mentioned. So I'll just
Tyler,
two
what
and out.
stars do you have?
I want to star up that this whole run's been lots of fun. The game has proven to be very good at making us seem powerful, making us hit emotional things. It generates stuff. So there's always problems coming in. Rich, you've run it very, very well to keep like the things that pop up as hard moves come back, and I can feel them. I mean, I know when, oh, there was that hard move that I had left over. There it came back. It is the game, and you have worked very well to keep us on edge and keep it exciting. So stars all over for that. And I will like Alex, try not to take everything. So I'm going to highlight one in particular I thought was really spectacular. Rich, I think this whole darkness and the pizza palace is fucking scary.
Yay.
Everything around it feels creepy, and you know I love creepy.
You do, and I'm glad that I could beat your creep factor because it's not my forte. So I'm happy to hear it.
So
Very happy.
that's very strong. Those are my stars.
Thank you, Tyler. Sabine, any stars left? They tried to leave some for you. Hopefully there is.
I mean, there are tons of stars left, but I don't want to take all of them. I like as before mentioned, I like the scene with Cowgirl and Sinnoch basically jumping on around her. That was fun. I really liked that reaction, and I also, of course, love the whole Blossom Herne interaction, the training scene, and generally I like the lead up to the pizza palace with the darkness and that stuff. That is very good. I like that. So stars for that.
Excellent. Thank you. And then Jen, bring us home.
All right. Yeah, I loved the way that the pizza palace thing was threaded back in. And I liked the way that you used Herd's question answer from sessions ago, I think. I suspect to create these connections, and that worked really nicely. Yeah, I'm feeling the danger of the threat, so I'm excited about that and seeing how that will go. I love seeing Herne and Maxwell come into sort of a direct confrontation that kind of puts a little bit of a split in the team, honestly. You know, everybody's a little nervous now. The drama is rising, and I like that. Yes, I enjoyed the wordplay this session. Thank you for indulging me. And the dumb crap, I gotta say, because I got a disease. The only cure is
More
just
cowbell.
silly cowbell.
Penicillin.
Oh, God, my mind. I liked the awkward interactions with Blossom and Blue Orchid. I think that we had just the right amount of Blue Orchid in this session. And it was also kind of fun to hear little bits of Blue Orchid, you know, being a teenager in Tony's direction. That was pretty charming.
Good.
Let's see, anything else? We got to go back to Ooloo's.
Yes.
Nice star for that.
I was
That
very happy about that.
felt like a little bit of a triumphant return, of course, toned down by the oncoming darkness. I think that about runs me out of the stars.
Good stuff. I really enjoyed Oscuro's dark side commentary during the Ooloo scene. Like, that was just really fun, and I love how everyone remembered, because it was several sessions ago, so several weeks ago, your answers on the Princess Pizza Party and how it influenced your opinion of this, like, it's here, and that was really cool. And star to Tyler for handing me the gift of Herne walked away from. I was like, oh, my mind is buzzing. I can't wait to tie back to that. I was really, really happy that you handed me that gift. I allowed it to, and I mentioned this during Wishes last week, but just to kind of reveal, just talking a little GM talk for a brief moment, I allowed that to handcuff me in last session because I wanted that reveal to happen when Maxwell was Herne, but we did the scene during the day, so Maxwell did kick-ass stuff as Maxwell, and I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna like not do that, which means that I stretched it out too long. But I feel like we came back to it, and I made up for that. But it was definitely a thing in my head where I'm like, yep, there's different ways I could have approached that rather than allow it to hog tie me. And I love Blossom's sudden interest in Neutron Fist. That's just really, it's really cool. It's cute because it's less about Neutron Fist and is more about Blossom's a little bit more self-actualization. Like, I'm interested in someone outside of my own. Things are always going wrong. And so that was nice and adorable. So yeah. And thanks everybody for being cool with GMPC being there every once in a while. I still feel guilty every time that I put him in the scene, but I'm trying my best and it seems like it's working. So I'll just not worry about it as much, hopefully. Cool. Next week, we will not have a Jen because Jen will be at her own con. They just misspelled it. That's okay. We will carry forward and we will begin our series, our mini series, just like 4 sessions. I think there are 4 Sundays in August. Let Rich checks the thing. 4-session dip into Pandora Total Destruction, a game of overpowered supers, which I will be running, heavily influenced by the movie New Mutants, as well as probably some influence from Invincible, the animated, because I haven't read most of the comics. Sorry, Jen. I know I should. But so I'm very excited about it, and we will have Jen create her own overpowered super when she joins us in 2 weeks hence. So,
2 weeks I won't be
and
there
then
because I need to be in
exactly.
Sweden.
That's
Can I
right. You're
just
going to be
do
in Sweden. I'm so
one
excited
last-
for you.
Or two last stars.
Oh, that's right. You did have that. You
Yeah.
mentioned it in chat, and I just ignored
Because
you. What
there
are
were
they?
ones that I had in mind, but I didn't want to take all of them. Really liked the little actual sparks of, actually tension, as in, not as in sexual tension, but as in clashing between Theo and Miguel. There was like a little bit of like, how they're operating
I know. Maybe I should
operating
make
styles.
Miguel my rival again.
Oh
Yeah,
wow, yeah.
and
I don't
New
know.
rival.
yeah,
I can change it whenever I want.
yeah.
Right. I mean,
Just do it. We'll never remember it in a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
And the other thing was telling that shark person off and making them turn over the truck, the food truck, before they left.
That was such a good
Like,
moment. Thank you
just
for
like,
reminding us of that.
So thank you. That was I really like that little end of the scene. That really just capped it off very nicely.
That
I was very happy
good.
that he was just doing it without me
Yeah.
rolling anything.
Yeah, it did feel like a role. It felt like
No.
almost like Batman and animated series moment of sure,
Mm.
fine,
Yeah.
okay,
Fine.
sweet. Well, thank you all so much. This has been a delight. I can't wait. Sometimes I think breaks from games can strengthen them, so I'm excited to see our annual when we come back, and I'm very happy that everybody's good to dip their toe into Pandora Total Destruction, a game that we'll be playing together for the first time. And I'm excited about that. So thank you all so much. And with that, we will bring this recording to a close.